told you my Halloween costumes would be cheap. Welcome back everybody to another Halloween movie review. Today I'll be discussing Re-Animator, but I'll be discussing Re-Animator with a very special guest of 22TigerDude. Welcome back 22TigerDude here on my channel. I'm excited to talk about Re-Animator. I just watched this film recently and I heard that you just watched this film recently too. Before I give my thoughts on Re-Animator, I'm going to let 22TigerDude take it away and give his thoughts on Re-Animator.
Hello everybody, this is Tony aka 22TigerDude here, and I want to give a huge thank you to Justin Watches Movies for bringing me here to review Re-Animator. So, when it comes to Re-Animator, it is a very bizarre movie. This is definitely a movie that's not going to be for everyone. This movie honestly really depends on your kind of taste of movies. If you're into these kind of strange, weird, gory movies, Re-Animator is going to be one of those movies, definitely. If you're one of those people that isn't into very weird, very unique, and very gory movies, then yeah, Re-Animator is a movie that I would not recommend for those that aren't really fans of it. But if you're willing to go into a certain mindset with Re-Animator, I do think you could have fun with this film. And for me personally, I'm going to say this: I appreciate Re-Animator. I don't like this film. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of it at all, if I have to be perfectly honest. But as someone that does critique movies, someone that just loves to watch movies, I do respect Re-Animator. I do admire what they tried to do with this film, just the kind of genre they were trying to make in this bizarre telling, just doing reanimations of all of these dead bodies. It's a really weird movie. Now, as far as performances go, I actually did think everyone did a very good job in this film. I thought Jeffrey Combs, he plays the character of Herbert, and I thought he did very well, and you could tell that he was embracing the kind of strange movie that he was in, and that same thing could go to Bruce Abot. I thought Barbara Campton, who played the girlfriend in this film, I thought she acted very well. And honestly, all the other performances, whether they're the ones performing the reanimation, they actually did a very convincing job. It also does have a really, really good score. I actually love the score to Re-Animator. The score definitely fits the mood of the atmosphere that was built. And also, I did like the similarities to the 1960 film Psycho. If you guys actually listen to the main theme of Re-Animator, there are actually similarities of Psycho, and I don't know if that was by coincidence. I'm pretty sure they were inspired by Psycho to do the score, if I were to guess. But I thought how they definitely incorporated the score was very interesting, adding touches of Psycho, but they make it their own spin with the score, which I actually found to be very impressive. So the score is definitely one of the things I truly do really like about Re-Animator. And the reanimation stuff was actually very impressive. I thought visually that stuff was actually very cool to watch. And I do think when it comes to the blood in this film actually is really damn impressive, and it does fit for the kind of storyline they are trying to tell. It can definitely be too much as the film goes along, and that's definitely one of the problems I did honestly have with Re-Animator. It's just that when the film starts off with the whole gore stuff with the reanimation, it actually did fit for the storyline. The gore, the blood, the reanimation stuff, it all came to life and it looked very well done. But then as the film is going along and on until once it gets to the climax where things just go crazy, it just gets to the point where the film gets quite tiresome to watch, in my humble opinion, and it just becomes gory for the sake of gory. It honestly just feels grotesque. Not just that, but I did feel like when it comes to the overall editing of the film, I did feel like the editing would sometimes be a little choppy, and just the whole bizarreness as the film goes along, while it can be intriguing sometimes, other times, just like I said, it definitely just goes too far in my opinion. And even the girlfriend, although the performance from the actress is really good, the girlfriend, she was actually really starting to get on my nerves, and she really wasn't given really anything to do. And honestly, with the turns that this film would take, mainly when you get to the climax, it would just make the storytelling itself feel uneven, and even the tone would really shift during this film. Like, this is categorized as a horror comedy, but for me, I didn't really laugh other than maybe just a few times, and I was really confused. Like, I know there could be a lot out there that could definitely get this film's sense of humor, but me personally, I didn't get the overall tone. I didn't know if I was supposed to laugh. I don't know if I was supposed to be scared. I wouldn't say I was scared watching this film, but there were some gory shots in the film, like when you see this head. I was more like fascinated by the visuals on the blood and all that, rather than the overall scares. Just found the tone itself to be very uneven. And honestly, when it gets to the very ending, the film just feels very out of nowhere. So Re-Animator just honestly is not my cup of tea, but I do admire it for what it tries to do. I do think Stuart Gordon did a really good job directing this film. I have no problem with this film directing wise, and I could see what the writers were trying to do. I can commend the writers definitely, but just some of the turns they would take in the writing of this film, it was just too over the top. It was just too much. I can definitely say that it is a creative film. It's just not one of those films I can see myself rewatching. This was definitely enough for me. One time was enough for me to watch Re-Animator. It's just not my kind of movie, but I do appreciate it at least. So because of that, I'm going to give Re-Animator on the Justin Watches Movie scale a C+. Which on the 22TigerDude channel, I would give it 2.5 out of 4 stars. It's just a one and done deal for me personally. So thank you so much, Justin, for bringing me here to review Re-Animator. I really appreciate it, buddy. You are very awesome. And I hope everyone on the Justin Watches Movies channel has a very safe Halloween. This is 22TigerDude here, and don't forget that I will always have Tiger Power. Ooh.
Thank you once again, 22TigerDude, for being on my channel here to discuss Re-Animator. This was an absolutely crazy film, and I loved it. I loved it so much. This takes a very simple tale that has been done many times before. It's kind of like a Dr. Frankenstein tone to it, where a guy is intrigued on taking things that are dead, like humans and cats, and bringing them back to life, and just not learning his lesson. And early on in this film, it sets up this very suspenseful, dark tone, and occasionally mixes well with a very comedic tone to it. So early on, you get this suspenseful music, creepiness, kind of like almost psycho vibe to it, and a little bit of humor thrown here and there. And then this film just gets absolutely crazy, and the comedic part takes over, and it's a straight gore fest. At times, it's very disturbing with what they are handling, and at times I'm like, okay, that's fake. This is 1985. The prosthetics, I see it. It's makeup. It's okay. But there are some disturbing times. So what this film does really well is mix this comedic tone with this creepiness, dark, suspenseful, sinister vibe to it, and this guy who is performing all these things on humans and cats is a very creepy dude, and he is teaming up with this guy who doesn't want to do it, but is kind of forced into it. And they live together, and it's a good duo. One is absolutely crazy, one is not. But what made this film really stand out is that it does not hold back at all. It goes for a complete shock value, and it certainly delivers. Usually when I watch movies like that, I'm just like, you know, I understand that you just want a lot of blood, but here it was just like, this is fun. I don't know what that tells about me. But overall, the Re-Animator, I really loved. I loved the mixture of the tones. I loved the mixture of the characters. The storyline was interesting, even though that it was simple and done before, and the gore just made it so much better. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Re-Animator an A+. I'm happy that I finally watched this film. I just watched it a few weeks ago, and I immediately turned around and bought it on Blu-ray, because it was that good. So thank you again, 22TigerDude, for being on my channel. If you guys have not checked out 22TigerDude's channel, definitely go out there and subscribe to him. He's a great guy and he occasionally appears on my channel and occasionally go on his channel as well. Thank you guys for checking out my day 2 of Halloween reviews. If you guys have not seen my first one, that is a review of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and definitely check out my Halloween costume for that, because they're cheap. So this is Justin Watches Movies, and you stay spooky, YouTube.